get to the net, and good things will happen. The Minnesota Wild even the series with the Vegas Golden Knights as they beat them 5-2 in game number 2. 12:55 a.m. as this one started after 10 o'clock, but a great start for the Minnesota Wild. Multiple lines getting in on the score sheet, and the Wild held off a torrid push by the Vegas Golden Knights as the game unfolded. And now we head to St. Paul with this series tied up at 1 apiece. A lot to get to here tonight. We'll talk about how the line combinations looked. Matt Boldy continues to be just great in this series. Kirill Kaprizov with his welcome to the postseason party. And Filip Gustavsson, what can you say? Just an absolutely great performance by him in this one as well. Defensively, the Wild were great also. Just a lot to like in this game, but again, it's a roller coaster of emotions between a win and a loss. So lots to get to here today. Let's get things fired up here on a very, very early edition of the Locked On Wild Postcast.
You are Locked On Wild Postcast, part of Locked On Minnesota on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
The Minnesota Wild pick up a 5-2 win over the Vegas Golden Knights as they even the series up 1 game apiece. And for the Wild, how about the start in this one as they get 3 goals in the first period to take a 3-0 lead? I thought it was very interesting how much ESPN pointed out that Vegas just looked a step slow in this game, and that was going to be the key in this one, was to find ways to get past those big bodies that the Vegas Golden Knights have at their disposal. The Wild did a good job of that. They pushed the issue, got to the net, forced Adin Hill to move, and as a result, they build up a 4-0 lead as Kirill Kaprizov scores to start things off in the second period. Now, big push by Vegas and kind of a weird spot for the Minnesota Wild. With a 4-0 lead, you got to try to keep pushing the pace. I think Vegas just absolutely kicked on the Jets. I saw Bruce Cassidy after the 4th goal completely blow a gasket. So I think it's a Vegas team that definitely kicked on the Jets, but those final 2 periods felt like more of a penalty kill than anything else. All in all, the Wild pick up the win, and they take home ice advantage away from the Vegas Golden Knights as the rest of the series unfolds. Late postcast here for you tonight. This one will be going into the 1 o'clock hour. And I'm just going to start off with Trevor. He pretty much nails it here. And no, Trevor, you are not the only one that has to get up for work. This guy's got an early day as well. So we'll hang out for about 30 minutes, and then we'll send you on your way for the rest of your night. But just let's just start by looking at the numbers here. Vegas outshooting the Wilds 32-17 here tonight. I think the thing that was most impressive in this one was the fact that Vegas did not go on the power play. The Wild played a very disciplined game in game 2, and not to say that they didn't play a disciplined game in game 1, but they held Vegas to 5-on-5 play the whole night. Now the power play for the Wilds, not great, but the Wild can contend with this Vegas team at 5-on-5. If they end up going to the power play a bunch of times, that's where Vegas certainly has the edge. But they did not give Vegas any additional opportunities as this game unfolded. Face-off wins. Vegas gets the edge there. The Minnesota Wild continued to ratchet up the physicality, but again, in a responsible way. And they blocked 30 shots as a team. 30 shots as a team, which I believe is their high water mark for the season. So very, very engaged defensively. And Wild did a fantastic job of just making sure that there just was really nothing that got through to Filip Gustavsson as this game unfolded. Now, Gus was 30 out of 32 in saves. Just looking at some of the deeper dive statistics, the Vegas Golden Knights had a 3.08 expected goals. So Gustavsson was 1.08 goals saved above expected, which is pretty darn good. And just looking at the where the shots came from, 55 unblocked shot attempts for Vegas. Obviously, they were teeing off in the second and the third periods. So they had plenty of shots down the stretch. 44 of them were low danger, 8 medium danger, and 3 high danger. So again, limiting the high danger opportunities for this Vegas Golden Knights team, something that they were the best in the league at. And the Wild have held Vegas through the first 2 games of the series to 5 high danger shot attempts. That is this Wild defense doing their thing and keeping Vegas to a very perimeter centric game. For the Minnesota Wild on offense, they had a 2.15 expected goals, and in 34 unblocked shot attempts, they had 26 low danger, 6 medium danger, and 2 high danger. And the Wild got goals from everywhere. 2 low danger, 2 medium danger. They had a high danger goal. They also had a rebound goal against, which was another great job that they did of making Adin Hill move. That was going to be a key in this game, was to make Adin Hill move and to just make it so that he wasn't just set up, like planted in the ground, and you're trying to tee off on a guy like that. Solid, very solid, great defensive game for the Minnesota Wild here tonight. They needed it. You knew Vegas was going to, you knew they were going to make a push. They weren't gonna just go quietly into the night with a 4-0 loss. You knew they were going to make a push, and the Wild weathered it. They get the empty net goal to seal it at the end, and they'll head back to St. Paul with a 1-1 tie. Notable performances here tonight. Matt Boldy had a goal and an assist. He continues what has been just a fantastic series for him so far. 3 goals. And this is the Matt Boldy that we have been waiting to see for the Wild throughout the last part of the season. This is what we needed to see from him. And they've gotten plenty of that here. Marcus Foligno had a goal. Ryan Hartman has played great through the first 2 games of this series. He continues to do really, really good things. Kirill Kaprizov, 2 goals and an assist. Matt Zuccarello with a goal. Nice to see ya. Just some great work by those top 3 lines for the Minnesota Wild here tonight. And Alex Micheletti now joining the party. And Alex, a 5-2 win. I was just kind of going through the notable performances. Kind of felt like a PK the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, they were just trying to survive that one. Yeah.
But look, you start a game off, you get 3 goals in the first period. They absolutely had Adin Hill on the ropes because, as your dad said with PA earlier this week, you got to get Adin Hill moving. Mm-hmm. And they did that tonight. They made him move from side to side, and turns out he can't really do that.
It also helped that Shea Theodore and Brandon McNabb were just a disaster. At one point, they were combined -8. Yeah, just insane. But how about 97 tonight, man? That was incredible. Yeah. And he had 4 blocked shots too. So I mean, he was doing it all tonight.
Yeah, it was. There are just some eye poppers. Like Marcus Foligno had 12 hits tonight.
Yeah, he's
And
just a maniac tonight.
we were looking for a little bit more from Foligno after his game one performance, and he responds with a goal. He has 12 hits.
Hartman was great again tonight too.
Yeah, Ryan Hartman was fantastic, and there was a lot made, and we'll talk about it here. There was a lot made about Ryan Hartman getting promoted, Marco Rossi getting demoted. Ryan Hartman deserved the promotion. He absolutely has played well through these two games. And with some of the other pieces for this team not playing well, it's interesting. Like I ranted pretty loudly about the decision to put Marco Rossi down on the fourth line, and he saw 9 minutes, 27 seconds of ice time. Justin Brazeau at 8 minutes, 26 seconds. Yakov Trenyan played 10 and a half minutes. It was top three lines did a lot. I guess I still just I don't know. Because you look at what Freddie Gaudreau did out there, but at the end of the day, they got the win, and that's how it goes. Like let's go to this from Gary. I have no problem with Rossi on the fourth line in this series. Freddie, and Hartman have been better than Rossi defensively and have more experience. Rossi might move up in the next series. Like I understand you have to put Rossi in positions to succeed, but this is not just a last couple of games problem. Rossi has not been, he hasn't been holding his weight.
That fourth line got hemmed in all when they were out there. It was like hide the women and children. It was it looked like they were going to give up a goal every time they were out there. It doesn't work. And Brazeau gives you nothing. I mean, he just gives you absolutely nothing. Whatever Pro Scout said, hey, this is who we need. I don't get it.
Speaking of, I wanted to, because we had a question about I wanted to know what we thought of Zeev Boyum here tonight, and I want to make a point very quickly because I know it was pointed out by ESPN. Which, by the way, did you get the sense that ESPN wanted that game to go to overtime?
Oh my goodness, Ryan Callahan was just praying that it would get to overtime. He was over the top by him. I think Bob and Ryan are a good pair, but it was getting a little weird.
I love Bob Wischusen, but about the 9th time that he mentioned that Vegas is the best team at coming from behind, and that they, we've seen a couple of overtime games already this postseason. I'm like, okay, enough.
Yes, we did not need overtime for that game.
Stop trying to make it a thing. Let's talk about Zeev a little bit, because there was one of the goals that was, well, Bogosian was a -2. Zeev was a -2 as well, but I think the goals were more Bogosian's fault than Boyum for sure.
He was like behind the net on one of them too. Yeah, I don't know what
that was the one. That was the one where Boyum made the great play with his stick to poke the puck free. It just happened to go right to another Vegas player that walked in by himself.
Yeah.
They pan the camera out and Bogosian is like behind the net. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think Zeev still needs to play. They just gotta change up the pairings. I said put him with Spurgeon. I think that'd be a calming influence for him. I just it's not working with Bogosian.
Like let's just look at what the defensive pairs did tonight, courtesy of moneypuck.com. Brodin and Faber they played 24 minutes, 42 seconds together, just munched. The numbers are not going to look great, but you're going up against the top players that Vegas has at their disposal. Which, by the way, another reason that this series is tied 1-1 is the fact that Jack Eichel,
no Stone either, and Barbashev, the entire top line Eck has got them in a torture chamber. Yeah, it just incredible job.
And he's getting frustrated too.
Oh,
like he was getting frustrated in this game, and
especially when they had the goalie pulled. Yeah, you could tell that. Eichel was not happy. So,
but you look at it. You look at the numbers. I mean, 25 shot attempts for, 44 shot attempts against, with Brodin and Faber out there on the ice. But again, you're taking the best shot that Vegas has. The numbers are not going to be in your favor. The other pairings, Middleton and Spurgeon, they played 18 minutes together, 14 shot attempts for, 24 shot attempts against. You had Buyam and Bogosian was the third most commonly used. They were responsible for 2 goals against. Brodin, Faber, by the way, 3 goals for, none against. Middleton, Spurgeon, 1 goal for, none against. 7 shot attempts for, 14 shot attempts against. So it seems like the Golden Knights, they got the Buyam Bogosian pairing on the rush, but they were the only pair that was able to do that. And
happened in the last game too. Yeah.
But if you talk about like taking away a strength, so far the Minnesota Wild have taken away the high danger looks from the Vegas Golden Knights, which I think was the biggest key to this series, is limiting Vegas to shooting from the perimeter. They've had 5 total high danger shot attempts. I'm not even talking shots on goal. Shot attempts, 5 of them in 2 games for a team that led the league.
I don't think they had a breakaway tonight like they did in the first game. So I mean,
nope. So credit to old Jack Capuano for having this Wild defense.
Cartoon character. Every time I see him, it's like this guy needs to be in a cartoon.
This game was more tense because obviously the Wild had the lead early.
Yeah.
Fun.
I put it out there on X, look at how much confidence they have when they get the lead. They look like a completely different team. It was fun to see, and Kaprizov was smiling out there. It was awesome, especially when he got that 4th goal and snuck it underneath Adin Hill.
30-0-0 when leading after 2.
I always get nervous when they put those graphics up there when it's a Wild game, because it's like, do you not know Minnesota sports? Like, it was like, please, we don't need any of those type of graphics.
Gary Anderson has not missed a kick all season. Pat Summerall, he pushed it left. Thanks, Gary.
Yes.
Another big key in this series, courtesy of Sean.
Thanks,
the Wild outscoring Vegas 6-4 in 5-on-5 play. I said it right off the drop tonight, Alex. If the Wild can keep this 5-on-5, they can hang. They can hang with this team.
Yeah, I mean, especially the way Eck is playing. I mean, like we talked about, he's frustrating that top line, and the only line we have to worry about is the 4th line. At least defensively, and they are just the hitting is, I think, making a big impact against these Vegas forwards.
It'll be very interesting to see now that the Wild are headed home and they have the last change. Going to be very interested to see if Hines tries to make this more of a 4-line lineup.
Yeah.
Now that he has the ability to dictate the matchups, because as was pointed out here, Freddie, defensive center, so that makes sense as to why he's up in the lineup, and you are going to have to go through long periods of games where that line gets caught on the ice. And
I'd put Hinostroza out there. Take
Brazo
out. I think Hinostroza would at least give some offense out there on the 4th line, and I don't see the reason for Brazo being in the lineup.
The funny thing here So you look at the expected goals percentages, Foligno, Hartman, and Nyquist, 73.3.
Hey, the milk carton drew a penalty. I could not believe it. Ghost Nyquist, as Bob calls him in the chat. He actually drew a penalty.
One time. A broken clock is right 2 times a day. So congrats to Gus for snagging the penalty. The other numbers though, I mean, Boldy, Eriksson, Kaprizov, they had a 60.2 expected goals percentage, 52.8 in the Corsi. So they
Boldy
were handling
great again.
Yeah,
Boldy looked awesome. Yeah.
And they're handling their business. I loved Kaprizov. And again, I'll give props to ESPN for following this the way that they did. Kaprizov looking to pass the whole time he's bringing the puck up towards Adin Hill made that play. And the fact that he didn't look to shoot at all until the exact last second, that's what made that goal. And Adin Hill just pulled it into the net himself. Nice work. Great job. Much success.
Even when Kaprizov is not shooting the puck, he impacts the game so much. He draws the defenders to him, and he can make those no-look passes. It's just, it's just incredible how hard he works too. It's not just on the offensive side of the game. He does such a great job defensively as well.
Nyquist had a couple good plays today. Still not good though. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, he's lost a step for sure.
He's lost a full gate.
He at least did something tonight compared to game 1. But
0 shots on goal, 0 shot attempts, 1 block.
He at least drew the penalty, but our power play still is kind of a nightmare. But
should the Wild call up Sevi Leskovar just to fight Haig in the next game? Trenyan will. So what's going to happen is Trenyan will probably fight.
Just don't get him. Don't get a major. Don't get an extra major
right off the bat.
Don't break another orbital bone.
No.
Did you see Forbort had to have surgery now too? Crazy.
Yeah, I when I heard that it was an orbital bone, I was going like this, and people were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just trying to figure out what it would feel like to break your orbital bone."
Oh, I can't even imagine. Oh,
ugh. Yeah, and Dave Jackson again. Rough night for Dave Jackson.
Yeah. He's like it wasn't seen. The both of the refs were right in the scrum. They clearly saw it. All the linesmen, the linesmen were able to see it too. I said something on Twitter to somebody in a reply after I said it wasn't seen, or his quote. I was like, remember when TNT had Don Koharski, and every time they would bring Don on, he would get every review call absolutely wrong. It was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, come on, Dave. The official is right there.
Yeah, we're literally right there. I mean, they were right in the scrum.
And then, as Brian points out, the slew foot.
Yeah, it was then, and the refs was right behind it too. I mean, clearly saw what happened. Yeah.
Not a banner day for the officiating, to say the least. Let's do this because, again, I want to emphasize a point that, we were encouraged by what we saw in game 1, said a few things needed to be ironed out. They were. This is going to be a long series, so we can enjoy this because it's loopy hour. It's 1:19. Have to be up in 4 hours.
Hey, what a
hours.
What a weekend of Minnesota sports coming. We have the Wild, and then the Wolves also at home, and then even though it's the Twins Angels, so if you're a baseball fan, you get to see Mike Trout. But
hey, did they announce the attendance tonight?
Oh my goodness, Target Field looked like just.
I'm pulling it up right now. Then we'll go to break and we'll come back with some final thoughts. Announced attendance 11,800.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah, I would guess half of those people actually went. let's break. Then we'll come back and we'll finish with some parting thoughts. On to game 3 of the series. Maybe look at some defensive tweaks. What needs to continue to happen for this Wild team to put the pressure on the Vegas Golden Knights? Wild win 5-2 over the Vegas Golden Knights, Dave Jackson, and the rest of the crew. We'll continue tonight's Locked On Wild postcast after this. Today's episode of Locked On Wild is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. Are you looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving is 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. I was eating the honey roasted no shells today, watching the Minnesota Wild take care of business against Vegas. Went through almost a full bag. They're so good. And best of all is it's not like you're eating something that's not good for you. Wonderful Pistachios are a great healthy snack, so you can eat more of them than you normally would, or multiple servings. It's all okay. It's all good. So get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Tonight's Locked On Wild postcast is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are almost here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Apologies to those that took my advice in our episode today, saying that the Timberwolves were a lock at plus 5.5. Didn't work out so great, but hey, you get another crack at it with the Minnesota Wild in game 3 on Thursday. The Wolves taking on the Lakers at Target Center. The Twins, you name it, you got plenty of opportunities for that first $5 bet to bring you $250 in bonus bets if you win. So head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Minnesota Wilds.
Seth, there is currently an AHL game in triple overtime. It's Seattle's AHL team and Calgary's AHL team. Could you imagine a triple overtime game going right now? Just insane.
No, hideous. We'd be just miserable. So thankfully we just had a nice clean regulation game. Space Goats 32. I hate Vegas so much and I live here. Well, we're gonna talk about some of the keys to a game 3 win, but I do want to get to Denny for his live show tomorrow night. Is looking at the potential of pulling in a big fish, because even though, considering what happened tonight, Alex, the writing on the wall still feels pretty evident that Marco Rossi's gone in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, when you get moved to the 4th line, it doesn't look good for his future, and his agents are probably going to want a lot of money on the next contract, and so be on the lookout for that, especially during the draft.
And the Wild have Rossi. I'm just setting the tease up. I'm not going to talk about this a ton because we'll talk about it tomorrow night at 8. So make sure to join on YouTube. But you've got Rossi, you've got other prospects. You are finally released.
Yurov on the way.
You've got Danila Yurov on the way, who terminated his contract. The KHL still owns his rights, but his contract has been terminated a month early, which means he cannot wait to stop being played on the 3rd line there. Yes. Being played like 2.5 minutes a night until he signs the dotted line for his next contract. And now he's like, no, I'm not doing that.
The KHL for you. The KHL.
So he's coming. You've got prospects. You've got we no longer have to hear about the ghosts of Zach Parise and Ryan Suter. That's done. When the season officially ends, I'm taking a piece of paper and I'm going to rip those up, light them on fire, and we'll never talk about them again.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yes.
But you have the ability to make a big move when sending salary out to get somebody on the books. So it feels like Rossi will be used in that fashion. So we have polls up on the YouTube channel looking at potential trade packages, and just hit the comments if you have a trade proposal. We're focusing on Tage Thompson. Tage Thompson, a player that has not been discussed on this channel previously. So Denny's getting ahead of the pack on that.
And I like what Ben put in the chat too. Rossi to Columbus for Ken Johnson. That guy is so skilled. You know, he was another first-round draft pick that's been kind of a little underwhelming there, but you know, he's still so young too. Yeah. And he has all the skill in the world. He was so much fun to watch at Michigan, and you know, I think that would be an even trade. With those two teams, and a guy that also scored. Well, technically now last night, Sam Bennett with Florida is going to be a free agent, and it's going to be tough for Florida to re-sign him. So that is a guy that is the perfect Bill Guerin player. Plays with an edge, can score, and win some face-offs. That would be the perfect replacement if they move, Rossi.
Sam Bennett is like the evolution. The Joel Eriksson Ek evolves. Like if you're playing Pokemon, Joel Eriksson Ek evolves into Sam Bennett.
He's a rat that has skill. Yeah, so that
I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that. So just check out the polls on YouTube ahead of tomorrow night's show. What would you be willing to give up for Tage Thompson?
Everything.
I think
everything.
Sell the farm. He's an elite goal scorer. He's big. You can find out more tomorrow on YouTube. But I want to get back to the game here tonight, Alex, because I a couple years ago when Gorgie and I were doing the postcast, he said, you go through the full wave of emotions from game to game. We felt encouraged after game one about where the Wild were at, but you've got more games to be played. We feel great about how the Wild got out to a hot start. Vegas more than responded, which I think tells you that if you don't bring it at a high level for the entirety of the game, they can beat you.
They don't give up. Vegas does not give up.
Especially if Bruce Cassidy spits molten lava in the locker room like he for sure did tonight.
When they were showing his face, it was after goals, like you mentioned off air.
He absolutely blew a gasket.
And he's just like DeBoer. They are great at just strategy and tactics. So they'll game 3, they're going to be, I would guarantee that they're going to come out a lot better than they did in game 2.
But this is kind of the point that I'm getting at here, is that if you have a lead in this series,
mm-hmm.
Vegas is not going to stop coming at you. And it is going to require the type of defensive effort that was put on the ice here tonight. 30 block shots. You have 29 blocks tonight. You probably end up with this game being at least 4-3, if not headed to overtime. It took every bit of defensive effort that the Wild had here tonight. I would have liked to have seen more of a push offensively, especially in that second period, but
they were trying to absolutely survive that right at the end of the second period.
ESPN said that too. They said the Wild have expended so much energy on defense that they're getting it to the blue line and they're basically just dumping it in to change for fresh bodies. That's 100% right. That is something that, you need to keep the push going offensively. But again, like the group they were ready to go from the drop, and Like this was a fun one again. This has
I mean,
been
Gus was great again.
Yeah,
I mean,
Gus
he
was
made some
fantastic.
brilliant saves in the first period. He was just he was on all night tonight.
I want to make another point as well because I see it kind of playing out in the comments here as we talk about the game. We're not advocating for trading Rossi.
No, but
we're not. If I had the opportunity to make the decision to keep him, that'd be the choice because
you just see the tea leaves in the way that dropping him to the fourth line. He's not a fourth line player.
No.
So that just the writing's on the wall. And now that they won, why would they switch up?
Yeah, they're not gonna. There won't be many, if any, changes. Although I would argue that third pairing should be split immediately.
Yes, it just that one's not working. But you either put Merrill in for Bogosian or switch up those pairs at least.
Or Chisholm.
Yeah. Chisholm at least gives you some offensive capability too.
Put Chisholm in. Put Chisholm in and put, I don't know, put Faber with Middleton, put Brodin with Boyum, and put Spurgeon with Chisholm.
Yeah, that works.
Those pairings have worked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like it. Just every time they set a goal, they said, and you see a little miscommunication here by Trenyan and Bogosian, and I'm like,
well, remember what was it, the second or the third period where the fourth line, two guys didn't have sticks? Like it was like, what is going on here?
I'm like, okay, we need to. Yeah, we need to not be doing this.
Britt in the chat says, "Does Bogo seem slow, or is it just me?" No, he's slow, and it's just hard because Boyum is so good skating.
Paint dries at a faster rate.
Yes. And isn't it crazy that Bogosian was I think he was a top 3 pick in his draft, and which is just wild to think. And he's one of the only Atlanta Thrashers still playing in the league. Evander Kane too.
Atlanta Thrasher legend Danny Heatley.
Yes.
50 goal scorer Danny Heatley.
Dustin Byfuglien too. Yeah,
Dustin Byfuglien.
Blake
you
Wheeler.
Want to talk about an absolute cannonball?
Oh no! One of the funniest images of all time is when they played Vegas and he held up 2 of those guys when there was a scrum by their jerseys, just all time.
Just an absolute mutant. I just love the way that Byfuglien is spelled too. It's by Fuglien.
Yes, a guy from Roseau, Minnesota. Just awesome. And now
a guy from Roseau, Minnesota, who had multiple 200 hit seasons as a defenseman.
He just walked away from money from the Jets. He just said, "I'm done. I want to go back to Minnesota and fish." He's a beauty.
That's all any of us want.
Right.
Just catch some fish.
Never work again and just fish. What a life.
So the Wild even the series up at 1 apiece. We now play on Thursday. 8. They say 8:00.
we know it's going to be after that, just like it was
8:52
tonight.
Who is the game before? That's the key.
And how about ESPN doing it again, where they switched it to ESPN2, but then they switched it back to ESPN without even saying anything, and there was a draft NHL or NFL draft coverage on ESPN2. It was they did it. They pulled the rug again.
I was watching both the Senators Maple Leafs game and the Panthers Lightning game at the same time because I have ESPN Multiview on YouTube TV. And John Buccigross said multiple times, he said, Wild Golden Knights will not start until Panthers Lightning is done. Multiple times.
Thank God that game did not go to ESPNU too, because not everybody has that. And so it would have been just a disaster.
He said multiple times. He said, Wild Vegas Golden Knights, that'll get going once Panthers Lightning is over. It's like
that game took forever to get done. Like it was ridiculous.
Panthers Lightning is at 5:30 on Thursday. Wild Golden Knights are slated for 8. I bet you it'll be 8:52.
Yes, no doubt about that.
Yes, Britt is absolutely right here. YouTube TV, multi-view, the ability to do multi-sport, multi-view, multiple channels. I had 2 NBA playoff games and 2 hockey games on the same TV. Glorious. It's the greatest thing. It's the greatest thing that has ever been invented since the hockey stick, or maybe the forward pass. Rossi to Calgary for Matt Coronado.
He's a stud. He played college hockey at Harvard. Yeah, he had a really good year. I don't know if they would give him up, but it would be intriguing. He's a heck of a player. He kind of had his breakout year too.
We'll talk more about potential trades tomorrow, but also that's going to be heavy in the off season when we get there, because it just feels like that's going to happen. We're not advocating for a Rossi trade. It just feels like that's the way that this is headed. But the Wild win here by a score of 5-2. And just to leave you with one thing before we wrap up, again, courtesy of Sean here in the chat, the Wild outscoring Vegas 6-4 in 5-on-5 play. If they can keep it at 5-on-5, they can hang in this series. And if they can get Adin Hill to move, they can hang in this series. So with that, I need to go to bed.
Yes.
Very tired.
Survived 2 games. 2 late ones.
Make sure to join us for the live show tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I'll probably be sleeping until then. So Wild pick up a 5-2 win here tonight. Alex, thanks for hopping on once again here tonight. And we'll catch you
Thanks
on
everyone
Thursday.
for joining. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining a late one.
We had 80 people in here after 1 o'clock.
Amazing. You guys are all troopers. Thank you so much for all the support, and the chat has been just buzzing.
It's been an immaculate. It's been an immaculate season. Let's keep it rolling here on Thursday. So peace out, everybody. To quote John Hines, get some sleep, and we'll see you for an episode tomorrow, probably just after lunch, as we gear up for Thursday's game. Peace out. Bye-bye.